Медик! Рецепт выписать!
What is up, guys, and welcome back. Fatedlime here. This is another Prepare for Battlefield 4 Battlefield console tips, episode 3. And today we're going back to some more basics. We did the spotting, we did movement, and as you know, as a COD player, I like to not have so much detriment or disadvantaged stats on my movement, so I do like to use bullpup weapons. So right here we've got a TDM, a 200 ticket TDM on Grand Bazaar, running the KH 2002, which you don't see too often. It is a burst fire weapon, bullpup, so I get the hip fire, I get the movement bonus, and it's also quite accurate. And it's one of the fastest killing guns and most underused guns in Battlefield, in my opinion. Anyways, back to the basics. We're talking team deathmatch, guys. Don't jump into Battlefield on console. If you've never played Battlefield 3, Bad Company 2, Bad Company, anything like that, do not jump into a conquest on Operation Firestorm, because you are going to get pissed off and scared because it's going to take you 45 minutes to go find a person, and you're going to be like, this game fucking sucks. There's nobody on it. There's nobody playing it. What is even the fucking point of playing this game? Now, the problem is that the consoles we have now just don't, they don't have the capabilities to run 32, 64-man servers, which is a huge, huge disappointment. And they kind of do, because, PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3 had MAG, 256 people on one game. So, telling me that you can't do it is more or less just kicking it under the rug and saying, fuck it, we'll do it on the next release of whatever game we're coming out with. So, what you want to do when you get into Battlefield for the first time is look for those smaller maps. You want to play Rush on Operation Metro, Grand Bazaar, Sign Crossing. Conquest on Grand Bazaar is honestly one of the greatest experiences on console you can ever have. Even 12v12, you still get the alleyway of death, and there's debris flying and vehicles jamming up into it. So, I mean, you still get that battlefield feel, even though it is only 12v12. But, like I'm saying here for tips, what you want to do is you want to get into a... my voice cracked right on. Puberty at 29. Anyways, you want to get into a game like TDM. TDM on Grand Bazaar is easy because spawns are simple. It's basically spawn versus spawn, and don't be surprised. You might think these guys are spawn trapped, and they kind of are, and if they were a better team, they could have won. Being in this spawn trap on Grand Bazaar is not necessarily a bad thing. You get back there with some light machine guns, a couple good snipers, and a mortar guy, you can own this whole map just by sitting back in this tiny, tiny spawn corner where you think you're at a disadvantage, but you're really not. So figure out the maps. Take TDM, a 200 TDM, lasts about anywhere, depending on how aggressive you and your team are, can go anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes. So it's still just as long as a standard 75 kill Call of Duty game, but you're not getting any kill streaks. It's mostly gun on gun. You're sniping, you're leveling up, you're adjusting to suppression, you're learning how to use cover, you're learning to use destruction. I mean, you strap on your M320 noob tube on this map, and take out these buildings. You're gonna kill people in areas and with shit that you can't kill people on other games. So we all know about destruction and frostbite. Use it. Utilize the frostbite engine. It is your friend. And team deathmatch is your best friend on console. I did not get into Conquest or Rush until I probably had 100 hours of team deathmatch in, before I was figuring out where to go, what to do, how to adjust for suppression, come back into cover. If you get suppressed, go behind a wall for 5 seconds and your suppression will slowly dissipate, and you'll be able to pop back out and get those accurate shots off. And really that's the gist of, this little tips episode is try TDM before you jump on and make a judgment on Battlefield based solely on, a conquest game on Carg Island that, sucks. It really does. in my opinion, all the conquests, you know, the capture the flag maps, the new ones, the DLC, awesome. For conquest, rush, TDM, they all work. They're not too big, they're not too small. They're nice. They seem to be a decent balance. And then you get the Back to Karkin maps, which are still the best. Is still the best expansion that has come out for Battlefield, in my opinion. And those maps work for everything. Conquest, Assault, Conquest, Team Deathmatch all work on the Back to Karkin maps too. So get any one of those DLCs. The end game, Back to Karkin, even Aftermath. Honestly, I've been playing a bit of Aftermath, Conquest, and Rush the last 2 days, trying to get more tips for you guys, and even they work pretty well. So I mean, try the smaller maps before you get, I don't want to say scared off, but that's generally what happens, is that people get scared off. I bought Battlefield the day it came out, but I didn't touch it for 4 months because I jumped in, I got into a Conquest game, and I was, spent 10 minutes, and at the end of the game, stuck in a game for 25 minutes, and I only had 3 kills and like 5 deaths, and I had no idea what was going on. There's vehicle assault and all this shit you got to get used to. So take your time, ease into the battlefield, practice adjusting for suppression, practice your accuracy, practice your taking cover ability. Jump into a team deathmatch, utilize everything that Battlefield gives you, and in the end, you're going to be a much, much stronger Battlefield player, and you're going to be a much bigger asset to your team if you take the time to actually adjust and figure out the mechanics of this game. Because a lot of people just write it off as a bad game. It's not 60 frames per second, it's too big, blah, blah, blah. But it's not a bad game. It's the fact that the game has a learning curve and nobody really takes the time to adjust to it, because we're all so used to games like Call of Duty or even Halo that you can just jump into and be fairly good at because it's so arcadey, so smooth almost. This is more, I still say that Battlefield is more of a simulation, a war simulator, not to the extreme of Arma or anything like that, but it is still a simulator instead of a shooter, in my personal opinion. You still get that cool arcade aspect of some stuff, but still in the long run, it's more of a simulation game than a arcade game. That's just my opinion. So I mean, if you stuck around long enough, if you're going to take the time to play Battlefield and learn how to play Battlefield, do pop into some TDM. I recommend Grand Bazaar is probably my favorite because it's literally spawn versus spawn. You can go in there, you can go ham bone, and you can, be a Battlefielder. So till next time, hope you learned something, and this is Fatedlime, signing off.